Hello friends, welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to learn how we can locate the column in the floor plans. First, we have to finalize the size of the column and then we need to place the column in the floor plan. When you are making the framed structure, you have to be clear with the column location because the column is the main structural member which carries all the loads and then transferred to the foundation. So the column size has to satisfy the structural analysis and design. I am going to take the column size of 9 inch by 18 inches at the rate 9 inch, 18 inch. If we have only ground floor, we can even go with 9 by 9 inches column or 9 by 12 inches column. Here we have ground floor as well as first floor. So I'm taking this 9 inch by 18 inch column, and in some of the places like this portico and all, we can choose even 9 inch by 9 inch column. Let's create a new layer for column. This column we can hatch using the hatch command. Select hatch and then select the pattern, give OK, add pick point, select this, enter, and again enter. We need to change the scale of this. Let's give 10, 15. This color we can change to gray and this one we can change to magenta. This we can put it under the layer column, and then we can make a block of this block command column. Okay, so this is now a single block. And next let's draw one more column at the rate of 9 inch, 9 inch. So it's a square column. Hatch command, select the type, give OK, add pick point, select this one, enter. To increase the scale, double click on this and then here you can give 15. Okay. This color we can change to gray and this one we can change to magenta. Select this one, put it under the layer of column and then block this one. You can just name it as C1. So initially we can propose these sizes of column. The structural engineer will analyze and design the structure. If the column is not satisfying, then the structural engineer will increase the size of the column. So let's start placing the column in the floor plan. Copy this and then I'm going to start with here, and next copy this. We can place one column in the staircase area. Next let's provide one column in this area. The same copy and then paste it here. So this column is obstructing this window, so this we can move this window after this column. Here this wardrobe is also there, so this window we can take it out and we can provide in the middle. This we can just move and then we can provide in the middle. We have completed the columns in this line, and you have to check here the distance between column. Here if you check, it is coming around 9, it's around 21 feet. So what you can do is to reduce that one. Either you have to provide one more column or else you can just move this one here like this. Now if you check the distance between these two, it is around 17 feet. Because unnecessarily the beam depth will get increased if you don't provide the column properly. Next let's copy this one and then let's rotate it in the horizontal direction, move and then paste it here. After that let's provide one column in this corner. Next let's copy this column. When you place the columns, try to place all the columns in line so that it will be easy for construction. Next, if you copy this column place it over here. It is coming somewhere here. Here, copy this and then paste it. And if you paste it on this wall, these all three columns are in line. And next, coming to this one, copy this and then paste it over here. And next here and here, placing this column will not be a good ideology, because here in veranda this consumes a lot of space. So let's take out this column and then we can place one more small column over here. Let's take the car and then place it here. This is parking area. Here we have the column at this edge. This we can hatch the point. We can give 15. And this one color we can change to magenta, and this one we can change to gray. Let's keep this under the layer column. Next, here we have to provide the column to cover the roof area, because this area will keep it as open, so we have to cover to some extent. Let's take this one offset of 20 feet. I'm taking this side. Let's take around 20 feet. Let's copy this, paste it over here. If you see here, the distance between these two columns is very less, so we can move this column to this line, in line with this column. We can move like this, so that this we can make it as a portico. This area we can make it as a portico, and here we can take a cantilever beam and then we can make it as a portico. Use the command lay ISO, select the column and then enter. This is the advantage of layer command. So we have put all the columns in column layer, and if you use that layer ISO, only in that layer objects will be shown. So we can select all this and then make a copy, and then again you can just use the command layer on. That means you will get back all the layers by using that layer on command. Now paste the column whatever you have copied before. Again select all this, move, and then I'm taking this as my base point and then I'm placing here in the first floor plan. Okay. Now what we can do here is we can do the little adjustment over here. This window we can take it out. I think this window we can keep it in this corner itself, so that we'll get a nice background behind the bed. So let it be here. So this will be the cross ventilation, and here you have the balcony, so we'll get the cross ventilation here. Next, coming to this area, this all the columns are okay, and here if you see, this column is coming in the door area, so we can just move this window here, and then we can just move this column over here, and after the column we can just keep the window like this, and the same can be applied here. Let's delete this, copy these two things, copy, select this as base point and then paste it over. You can adjust these lines. Let's check the dimension between these two columns. It is 17 feet. This is fine. So we have completed the first floor columns as well. What we can do here is, these two columns we don't require in the first floor, so let's delete these two columns. These two columns will be stopped at the ground floor roof itself. That means at the first floor level it will be stopped. We will not continue these two columns above first floor. Next, let's copy this column and then let's paste it in the staircase headroom. Taking this as base point, I'm going to paste like this. And with this column is projecting outside, so we can keep this one inside. And let's do the same changes in first floor plan as well as in the ground floor plan. Like this we can do. And if we check the distance between these two, it is coming at 19 feet. So to reduce that distance, we can just copy this column and paste it at this place, that small 9-inch column, and the same we can paste it in that ground floor as well and see where it is coming. So it is coming over here in line with this. So in this way you have to adjust the column aesthetically. It should not obstruct the window or door area, and also it should not be projected out in the living area. And one more main thing you have to consider while placing the column is you have to check the distance between two columns. If the distance is more, you can provide an additional column and you can reduce the distance, because if the distance between two columns is more, then in that place you have to provide more beam depth. So while placing columns you have to consider two major things. One is aesthetic and another one is structural aspect. In the aesthetic aspect, the column should not obstruct any of your usages. Utility of the house will not be affected by the projection of the column. Column should not protrude outside the wall. And as per the structural aspect, you have to check the distance between two columns. If the distance between two columns is more, then you can provide one more column in order to reduce the beam depth, and that also will helps to transfer the load properly to the foundation. That's all about this lecture. I hope it is clear for you to locate the columns in the floor plans. Let's meet in the next lecture.